The Invictus Games, an event established by Prince Harry to honor injured and sick military personnel, has found itself at the center of controversy as veterans from around the globe are reportedly demanding the exclusion of Meghan Markle from the upcoming 2025 Games in Vancouver. This demand stems from a series of incidents and perceived missteps by Markle during past games, which many feel have shifted the focus away from the veterans themselves to her personal image and fashion choices. From the outset, Meghan Markle's involvement with the Invictus Games has been contentious. Critics argue that her participation has sometimes appeared more about her own public relations than supporting the core mission of the Games. For instance, during the 2023 Invictus Games in Dusseldorf, Markle was seen leading a march, a move that was met with confusion and criticism as it was perceived by some as her overshadowing the veterans. This incident, among others, has fueled the argument that her presence detracts from the Games' intended focus on celebrating the spirit and resilience of military personnel. Moreover, financial concerns have been raised by the protesting veterans. There have been allegations that significant funds meant for the veterans' welfare are instead being diverted to cover Markle's expenses, including her clothing, jewelry, and security. This redirection of funds has been a point of contention, with some veterans questioning the financial transparency of the Games management under Harry and Meghan's influence. The sentiment is clear in posts on X, where users express anger over what they perceive as misuse of donations meant for veterans. The backlash against Markle's involvement isn't just financial, it's also about the perceived shift in the ethos of the Invictus Games. Originally conceived to be a platform for veterans to heal through sport, some argue that the Games have become a stage for Meghan's personal brand. Her speeches at previous events have been scrutinized. For example, during a friends and family party in 2023, her focus seemed to be on her own narrative rather than celebrating the achievements of the participants. This has led to a growing chorus among veterans who feel that the essence of the Games has been lost. Adding fuel to the fire, there are claims that the couple's involvement has politicized the Games, dragging royal drama into what should be a sanctuary away from such controversies. Critics argue that every appearance by Meghan at the Games turns into a media circus, focusing on her attire and public statements rather than on the athletes. This has led to a significant petition signed by thousands of veterans urging Meghan to be barred from the closing ceremonies of future Games, stating that her presence could overshadow the true purpose of the event. The reaction from the public and the veteran community has been palpable. On platforms like X, there's a clear narrative of disapproval. Sirs have been vocal, using hashtags like #MeghanMarkleExposed and #BoycottInvictus to rally support for their cause. One of the most significant criticisms is that Meghan uses the Games for photo ops, much like other high-profile events, rather than genuinely supporting the veterans. This sentiment is echoed in statements where veterans express reluctance to participate if Meghan is present, highlighting a potential boycott of the 2025 Games. The situation has also sparked discussions about the future of Prince Harry's patronage of the Invictus Games. There's a suggestion that if Markle continues to be involved, it might lead to a re-evaluation of Harry's role or even his stepping down from the organization. This scenario is discussed in various forums and social media, where some advocate for a return to the Games' original mission, free from what they perceive as Markle's overshadowing influence. In response to this backlash, there's been a noticeable shift in how the Games are being promoted. The official Invictus Games Canada page on social media now focuses almost exclusively on the veterans themselves, with no recent posts featuring either Harry or Meghan, suggesting an attempt to realign the public's focus back to the athletes. This move has been welcomed by some, seen as a step towards reclaiming the Games for those they were designed to honor. However, the controversy surrounding Meghan Markle's involvement with the Invictus Games paints a complex picture. While some see her actions as detrimental, others might argue that her high-profile status brings much-needed attention and resources to the event. Yet, the prevailing narrative from a significant segment of the veteran community and observers is one of concern that the Games have strayed from their original, noble intent, becoming entangled with celebrity and personal branding. As the 2025 Invictus Games approach, this debate will undoubtedly continue, with veterans' voices at the forefront, demanding a return to the core values of the Invictus Games. Whether this leads to policy changes, a restructuring of the event's leadership, or simply an increased focus on the participants remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: the veterans' call for change has set the stage for a significant turning point in the history of the Invictus Games.